I'd forgive you for thinking video cards these days are all such conformists. Plastic shrouds everywhere, 2 to 6 heat pipes, your choice of blower or 2 to 3 fans. And that's it. Where has the style gone? To China, apparently. With some help from our friends at Nvidia, we tracked down the 5 most mold-breaking graphics cards of the current generation, many of which aren't available in North America at all, for your viewing, perhaps gawking even, pleasure. Cooler Master's 25th Anniversary Edition Cosmos 2 features a unique, dual curved tempered glass side panel. Check it out now at the link below. Okay, so some of these cards are actually fairly well known by now, and Palette's Calm X GTX 1050 Ti is one of them. It was first announced back in February of this year and sports no fan whatsoever, just a rather sizable heatsink and 2 lengthy heat pipes. That means that case clearance might be an issue if you decide to pick one of these up, since from the card's edge to the end of the heat pipe, we measured 13 1/3 centimeters. Not a problem for wider desktop cases like a Define R5, but definitely a consideration for a home theater PC. And we have another GTX 1050 Ti too. This one's from MSI, and it's got the same specs, but a pretty different approach. While it also sports a dual slot design with roughly the same overall length. If you count the cooler, its width is much less, and the card itself is half height. So as you might expect, it comes with a low-profile bracket out of the box, which means it's a viable option for a cheap 2U video transcoding box or one of those slim PCs that were so popular a couple of years ago. Its twin-fan design means that it'll generate some noise, but we shouldn't actually see any thermal throttling. And in our testing, these two were actually neck and neck the whole time, which really shouldn't come as that much of a surprise given that they're otherwise identical, but what did blow us away is that Palette's Calm X actually ran slightly cooler than the low-profile, actively cooled MSI, and this is in a closed case. Working our way up the ladder, this one should be very exciting to small form factor enthusiasts. We've got the GTX 1070 KATANA from GALAX. While not appreciably longer than a Founders Edition GTX 1070, the Katana takes up only a single slot, thanks to its heavy use of copper and aluminum to make the whole shroud part of the cooling setup. It's got a single blower fan to exhaust case, out these tiny holes in the rear I/O and also just out into your case, and they even managed impressively to include 3 outputs, meaning you're not losing out as far as connectivity goes. All this and without a backplate. But how does it measure up performance-wise? Well, shockingly, it's actually right up there with our Founders Edition. Though the thermals leave a lot to be desired, and it screamed like we were smashing its toes with a hammer the whole time. This card is definitely not one that you'd want to use in a case that doesn't have some sound isolation, or really at all, unless you really need a single slot card. Next up then is a pair of freaking heavy GTX 1080s from Inno3D and colorful. And I do mean pair, because these cards are strikingly similar, with the Inno3D iChill and Hercules, Airboss, Behemoth, whatever it's called, sporting not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 fans for, reasons, I guess. But hey, maybe with the 150 megahertz factory overclock, they're onto something. And finally, the RGB iChill logo indicates GPU load automatically, which is kind of cool, even though we would prefer direct control. Its colorful twin here, the iGame X-Top, has a distinctive feature of its own. Check this out. It's got a turbo button. That brings me back to a simpler time when PCs were beige and Windows was up to version 95. Anyway, this card comes in a surprisingly well-written, if somewhat rambling box with no specs whatsoever. We hit up the website and, whoa, the website is coming to hit us a surprise. That sounds painful. Let's see, what else we got here? RGB lighting on the logo, and oh, here we go. The turbo button actually boosts the clock speed by about 100 megahertz. Neat. I'm not sure though why you wouldn't run it that way all the time, because as for performance, it still actually fell a little bit behind the Inno3D Chill, which managed better numbers across the board. Clearly, that fourth fan is working wonders. Finally, our craziest card yet. The 1080 Ti-based colorful iGame, wow, this thing weighs a lot, Vulcan X, and holy balls, is that a 3-slot card? Okay, technically no, because it doesn't have more I/O over there, but the cooler does definitely cover up the slot directly underneath. So like the X-Top, the Vulcan X comes with a turbo button that bumps the boost clock to 2 gigahertz. Then, aside from some gamery fans, we've got 6 heat pipes connected to 2 heat sinks, which on its own would be impressive, but what is that on the side? Next to the GeForce logo? That's a screen, baby! A pretty crappy old school LCD screen, but a screen nonetheless. Does your graphics card show fan speed, core temperature, core frequency, and memory usage conveniently on a little hard to read display inside your tower instead of in a sensible software interface? No? Well, neither does ours, because there's no software in the box and none on the English version of the website. I've still got to give them points for originality, though. Anyway, how much does a 2 gigahertz boost get you over a regular 1080 Ti? Well, looks like significant gains in synthetics and real-world numbers a couple frames higher than our Founders Edition. And to its credit, by the way, it even when overclocked stayed very, very cool, though with a heatsink this big, that shouldn't exactly be a shock. So there you have it, 6 totally non-mainstream graphics card designs. Some are similar to ones that were once popular, like low profile, single slot, or passive, but with more performance than we've ever seen in these form factors before, while others take more, let's say, dramatic approaches. So would you buy any of these hot topic versions of graphics cards, or would you rather just stick with comfortable conformity? Let us know in the comments below. Whoa, we've got new Tunnel Bear talking points! Countless businesses use VPNs every day to work securely in the office or while traveling. And now there's Tunnel Bear for Teams, so you can painlessly secure your whole team. It's the simplicity of Tunnel Bear, but for business. So Tunnel Bear for Teams makes it easy to secure your Wi-Fi on any network, browse privately, keeping all of your browsing activity away from your ISPs and local networks, and connect to a network of over 20 countries. Tunnel Bear for Teams comes with priority support, easy team management, and lots of bears. So start your 7-day free trial over at tunnelbear.com/LTT and try Tunnel Bear for Teams today. So thanks for watching, guys. If you disliked this video, hit that button. But if you liked it, hit the like button, get subscribed, maybe consider checking out where to buy the stuff we featured at the link in the video description. Also down there is our merch store, which has cool shirts like this one, as well as our community forum, which you should totally join.